Welcome to Autofaze. On this video, the WS6 goes from this to this. So I did a bunch of research on F-body brakes, and at the end of the day, I decided to go with the super budget setup of StopTech Rotors and Hawks pads. Now, a lot of guys are running the CTSV calipers in the front, either the 4 or the 6 piston, and running a 6, I think it's a 5th or a 6th gen, something like that, Camaro rotor. Of course, but there is some modifications you have to do. I didn't want to mess with any of that. I just wanted to be able to throw pads, rotors. I didn't want to have to mess with shimming the caliper, anything like that. So that's ultimately why I decided to go kind of more of the budget-friendly setup. And so basically this whole setup that I'm doing for the front and the rears, basically going to be the same exact cost as what it would do just to do the front CTSV setup, and then I'd have to address the rears as well. So these StopTech Rotors are pretty cool. This is a slotted rotor. I wanted something nice behind the weld wheels, and I also like that these the faces are painted, so you don't have to worry about rust or anything like that. A lot of the rotors don't come painted, so you got to paint them yourself. Supposedly these rotors are ready to install straight from the manufacturer. I'm still gonna hit them with some brake clean because you know how I do. Anyway, check this out. The pads come with a sticker. What pads have you seen come with a sticker for the toolbox? I've never gotten pads, or wow, I've never gotten a sticker with my brake pads. So I'm finally gonna try out Hawks pads. A lot of guys run the semi-metallics for road racing and autocrossing, but they do create quite a bit of brake dust. So I decided to go with the ceramic route, and I've ran ceramic pads before on a street car, and a car I've raced at the track, never had any issues. Of course, I haven't gone super fast to the track, but for this car behind me, this sub's going to be great on the street, great on the track, and ceramic pads are known to not make as much dust, so I'm excited to throw those on as well. So let's get after it. Unfortunately, if you've seen the last video, you know that there's literally no brakes on the front of this thing, and so we, after we left Over the Top Shop, drove back home with the new suspension setup, which it drove awesome, day and night difference. If you haven't seen that video, I'll link it up here somewhere above so you can check it out. Make sure you come back and finish watching this one, of course. But yeah, there's literally no pads on the front, so unfortunately, really can't showcase this vehicle off yet. And unfortunately, it's gonna have to go back up on jack stands so we can assess the brakes, since it's lived on jack stands for quite a while now, especially since over the winter and stuff like that. So let's get into it. So before we can jack the car up or anything, you always want to unlock the T-tops on these cars. Rumor has it, it'll tweak the body lines a little bit. This car currently doesn't have subframe connectors on it yet, so I'm going to keep following that safety rule. I mean, at this point, is it a wise tell? I don't know. I've always done it, so we're not going to risk it. Literally metal on metal right now. Those are factory brakes and rotors, so this should be interesting to get apart. Alright, this should be solid. Now I gotta worry about taking this bracket off. Ay ay ay. Old Milwaukee wins every time. Man, all that dust in there. Is it gonna come off easy, or we're gonna have to whack it? What do you think? Oh yeah, nice and easy. For these being the stockers, they're really not too bad. There's a little bit of groove. There's a little bit of grooves in them, but these probably could have been reused. But you know, we're putting on some nice ones, so they're going in the trash. when I push the pistons back in, which is going to be a lot, this is already at max fluid. So I'm going to use this syringe, take some of the fluid out, that way I don't overflow and get brake fluid everywhere. Got my 8-inch C-clamp all rigged up. I'm gonna push the pistons down. I'm gonna make sure I keep an eye on my fluid so I don't have a mess up there. So I'm gonna get to work and I'll be back. Public service announcement. Is anti-seize and brake grease the same thing? The answer is no. And the reason why, anti-seize, which, man, if butter would spread like anti-seize I mean, this stuff spreads so smooth no matter the temperature. Anyway, this is anti-seize, which I like using the stick because this stuff is super messy if you get it in the brush or if you get it just in the tube. Anti-seize is metal on metal contact that is not going to be moving. So like, I like to throw this around the hub to prevent the rotor from sticking. Now, brake grease, use that for moving parts metal on metal, so the slides, the pins, and the front of the brake pads to help prevent squeaking. Some people throw some of this in there with their pads. Hawks does, which I've never seen before. Granted, I've never ran Hawk pads before, but they throw a high temp grease pack in with each set of pads. If not, I like this stuff. This is the CRC brake and caliper grease. Brake parts cleaner coming at you. Stick is the best thing they ever did for anti-seize. And so, this is probably overkill, but just something I like to do. And I like to change my fingers, that way I'm not contaminating my stick of anti-seize here. Oh man, look at this idiot putting the rotor on backwards. Oh, no, no, no. No, no, no. Thought I was dumb, didn't you? Thought I was dumb, didn't you? So I got a clean microfiber here. Well, it was clean. Here we go, there's a clean side. Do a quick wipe. Nice and light. Like I said, these StopTech Rotors were supposed to be ready to install out of the box. But I'm not a big fan of that. I was like making sure. So these guys do not come Loctited from the factory, but the caliper slide pin bolts do. But I'm gonna put a little bit of Loctite on these anyway, and then I think the torque specs on these are 74. So we'll get that all squared away. I'm always super careful that I don't touch the rear of the brake rotors again. That way I don't have to worry about cleaning the back side, because once you put them on, man, it's not horrible to do, but it's kind of a pain. Oh, you know what we forgot to do? We forgot to add some new brake grease to the slide pins. Oh man, I'm slacking today, yo. Oh yeah, man, those things were dry. You ever had dry biscuits? Man, they're the worst. Dry biscuits are the worst. So, same thing with slide pins. A little bit more. Dry slide pins will not let the brakes operate correctly. Oh yeah. Looking good. Boop, boop. So these brakes are, most brakes are pretty simple, to be honest. Normally they're anywhere from, if you're just doing the pads, it's just two bolts. If you're doing everything, it's 4. And so not a super complicated thing to do, but definitely very satisfying when you can save money doing it yourself. $74 is the ticket.
This is a Texton Tools torque wrench, and I don't have any complaints about their tools. Super affordable. I've actually been testing quite a bit of them. I bought some sockets and a ratchet, and so far I've been using them for about a year. So far, no complaints.
Everything is good.
Woo! Click, click. Click, click. Click, click. I don't really know if there's any excess. It's not going to be hitting. I'll just rub it off once I throw the caliper back on. Not going to go too crazy. Just a little bit. A little goes a long way. Boom, let's do it. Oh yeah, nice and easy. Woo, yeah, looking good. Looking good. Oh yeah, like a glove. Where are our caliper slide pin bolts? Add just a dash of red Loctite. Boop, 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 boop. There she is.
Yeah! All nice and tight. Not only does the part number end in L, they have a sticker on the rotor in case you open all the boxes and throw everything away. So then I like to just go in here and wipe, because you only want it on the contact points. So I like to just wipe it out, you know. Looking good. And that is the new brake setup. How it is, you get something done a little bit after lunchtime, you go inside, you get a snack, you watch some Netflix, and then it says, hey, you sure you want to keep watching? And you're like, pretty sure I got some other stuff to do. So let's go set the brakes. I got like 20 minutes left of daylight. Normally I like to do a couple of 35 to 25s and a couple of 60 to 45s, then let everything cool down. And from there we'll be good to go to see how good these ceramic pads actually do for a daily driver slash occasional track car slash race car slash whatever this thing's gonna be. Man, these brakes are pretty awesome. Thanks everyone for watching. I'm T. Brennan. We'll see you on the next one.